Welcome back for another edition of the Preps Plus Insider. I'm Mike Finnerty of the Sure West Sports Show, and I'm joined by Joe David. Would you pay attention to me? You got your nose deep in the news, as always. Pay attention.
Yeah, good to be here, and it's high school football, and it's all over the news, and it's good to be talking about it. I thought we had a great opening week, 0-week football.
I agree. Well, let's lead it off with Hot Topic, as we always do. And the Burbank football team, they have these unusual start times this year. Let's talk about it. Why?
Moving up to 5:30 for kickoff times, which is about 2 hours earlier than anybody else, maybe in the whole country, except for some other places. We'll talk about that. But Burbank, in a nutshell, is a great old school, great alumni, great students, great coaches, nice football program in a bad part of town. And late last season, there were some shots fired down the street from the school. There was a concern they moved the football games to Saturday afternoons. They don't want to go to Saturday afternoons this year because it kills out the atmosphere and the ambiance, but they moved them down to 5:30. The Sacramento City Unified School District, John Heffernan, the athletic director and football coach at Burbank, says he, quote, hates it, doesn't like to have, quote, outside influences impacting their game. I think it's rotten. Enjoy the facility. If you're not capable of going to the game, then just go away.
And hopefully for them it means wins. Well, let's look at the theme for 0 week. We opened up with 0 week this past Friday, and I would say the theme has to be the play of the quarterbacks. We're talking about Tyler McCombs of Antelope, Dre Terrell of Pleasant Grove, Ian Book even of Oak Ridge, even though Jacob Sipes could have been a quarterback there. But let's look at that and let's talk about the play of the quarterback.
Versatility, talent, excitement. And they're all leading championship programs. Dre Terrell can run, 60-yard touchdown run in the season opening win against Rockland. He could throw a pretty pass. He's a great leader. He's not very big, don't have to be. He's got a big championship heart. And then you have Tyler McCombs learning the game on the fly, only picked up football as a freshman, and he had the winning touchdown to beat Del Campo, 14-7, so he's got a nice mentor in Matt Ray. And then you have Ian Book, Jacob Sipes, we kind of lump them together because Ian Book's the sophomore, 3 touchdowns in his varsity debut to beat Vista Del Lago 38-0. But Jacob Sipes is the real key here. It's his great attitude of willing to have somebody take over his job. Could have been his job. He's a scholar. He's a leader. He's a punter, kicker, receiver. Have a player like that with that selfless attitude, that's how you win championships.
Oh, I agree. Well, let's talk the team. Let's talk about a team that maybe might not be ranked, or maybe a team that we are maybe overlooking, and that could be a Christian Brothers Falcons. A lot of people are talking about this team. What do you think of them?
I'm very impressive. Nice opening night win over River City. George Petrosons is a veteran coach. He was 1-9 2 seasons ago, 6 wins last season. He's getting there. He wants this program to get going again. This is a traditional power from the 1960s and 70s and the early 80s. Have not won a playoff game since 1986. So they're due. We'll see them soon enough in the Holy Bowl against Jesuit. Then we'll really find out. But this is a team that's really ready to take a surge.
I will keep an eye on them. Well, let's talk some football. We're going to look ahead to this Friday and plenty of games to go over and assess. And it's got to start with 1 versus 2. Number 1, Folsom takes on number 2, Granite Bay at Granite Bay. You're talking about the defending state champion and the Grizzlies. New coach, Skip Albano. Of course, Folsom, perhaps the best team in our area. How do you look at it?
No perhaps about it. Folsom's the number 1 team in the Sac Joaquin section, second best team in Northern California behind De La Salle of the Bay Area. You talk Folsom, you talk about line play, you talked about the spread option, you talk about quarterback play. The next one in line is Jake Browning, 63 touchdowns as a sophomore. He's even better this year. He's mature, he's composed, he understands the system. He's a leader. He gives credit to his teammates, but you can see he throws a pretty ball. He had 7 touchdowns in his opener against Wood Creek. I think Wood Creek's just about had enough of him the last couple of years. But the key here, Mike, is Granite Bay's got some stoppers. Cameron Smith, Dylan Keeney, Luke Bussey, they have to get into his face mask and knock him around. If they don't, he'll carve you up for lunch.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one, and we can't wait to see it. All right, let's move on to our next game. We have Rio Linda and Roseville. This one's at Rio Linda. We're talking about a Roseville team that had a big win over Cosumnes last week. And then, of course, Rio Linda, they have yet to play, and we know a lot about Rio Linda, a lot of hype around them. They could go undefeated.
I like this team. I think it's the best-looking Rio Linda team I've seen. And Mike Morris has had a lot of good ones over the years, a longtime coach. Got a great power running game with Leonard Scatabo. You got a speed element with Marcel Brown. You've got a wide receiver threat downfield in Keenan Hunt. And then Roseville, Larry Cunha, championship coach over the year, 2 wins last year. And then they open with a nice upset win over Cosumnes Oaks, 23-7. They've got Colton Miller. He is a towering figure. We were very impressed with him over the summer. He's the top recruit at that school since Teddy Bruschi way back in 1990, and he wasn't bad.
No, he wasn't bad. All right, let's wrap it up with a small school preview. Bradshaw Christian taking on Capital Christian, the Fishbowl as they call it. Look for the Justin Shelton Mosley in this one of Capital Christian, Nephi Lealo, of course, of Capital Christian, and then Drew Rickard, head coach for Bradshaw Christian. Both winning programs and both expect to do a lot this year.
You think about high school football, and the small schools are sometimes the most intriguing schools, and they have the smaller rosters, smaller enrollment, but their championship hopes are just as great, just as important, student body just as much into it. Kudos for these programs for playing each other. They're looking at small school bowls, and we'll be out there. There'll be a rabid atmosphere. It'll be terrific.
Oh, it will be. Well, that's another edition of Preps Plus Insider. Be sure to check out the Sure West Sports Show every Tuesday at 4:30 on Comcast Sportsnet California. We do a little radio show as well.
Yeah, and we have perfect faces for radio as we break down high school football each week. We'll have interviews. We'll look ahead. We'll look back, kind of in a big picture view. Always fun.
Yeah, it is. Well, check us out next week. We look forward to seeing you.